this lame man believed that what he needed is what he needed. So he came with what he believed that he needed or wanted. But they didn't give what he thought he needed. They gave what they thought he needed. There's a lot of people running around who think that what they want is what they need, but what they think they need and what you think you need or want is really what you don't need. You don't need what you really think you need. You think you might need some money, but that's not really what you need. This guy came thinking he needed money. That's probably the best bit of hope he had apart from a miracle. So he thought he needed something, things. People think they need extra money. If you could just win lotto, if it could have been your numbers last night, if I just get a windfall, if the business I started would just get cranked up, if I could find that break, dear God, you've been believing, you're doing all the praying, but you know what? Sometimes, very subtly, and it's not our fault, but we just get that way, where we think what we need and what we want is really not what you need and what you want. Things. Some people think it's another person. You need just the right person to come along. Well, let me tell you today, not really. That's what you think you need and it would answer everything, but it's more than that. It's more than possessions. It's more than a person or things. It's more than money. It's more than the breaks that you're praying for. It's more than maybe a career. It's more than anything that we see with our eyes, because this guy here was lame from birth. Here he was sitting in here, and it says in the Bible that he was at the point, he's got to be he's an adult, put there day after day. I want you to imagine this, being lame. He can't walk. And so he resolved within himself that I've been doing this for a long time. I've been this way a long time. First 5 years or 10 years of the introduction to God, I believed that God could heal me. Oh, yes, I used to pray and believe that God's Spirit would touch my life and the healing power of God would heal whatever I needed. I believed earlier on that the church was the place where I could go and I would get my needs met. But somehow it took a long time and things did not happen as you planned or you believed would happen. That's a long time for somebody to be in a lame position in life. And that's not necessarily physical. You can be lame. Your faith can get lame. Your believing can start to get lame. You know what I mean by that? We're called believers, but I find a lot of believers don't believe anymore. And you get somebody new off the street that comes into a meeting like this, and they're just about bursting out of their skin, and they believe everything the preacher says. And yet we've got believers that have been around for 30 or 40 years, and it's just like the same old sound to them. And you're not bad, and you're not evil. It's just, it's been a long time. How long? Things haven't worked out, Bishop. I genuinely believe this, and I tried that. And you did. It's just like this guy here. He sees, he's been here for a long time. Lame. Now he thinks that he needs money to get him by. When you're from birth and you get to your 40s or your 50s and you've been lame and you're being dragged to the temple daily, it says. You're dragged and you're dropped. I don't think they had wheelchairs in those days. Probably grabbed him by the scruff of the neck, and while he was eating his sandwich, and he's just getting dragged to the church doors. Clunk. There you go, mate. Give me some money. No, we've got nothing for you today. Every day, he just got to that position where somehow he believed his hope was in God, and that was reflected in his desire to get near the doors of the church. But he was a little bit lost and vague. And the fact is that over time, sometimes when you're in a certain position of, and lameness gets into your hope, lameness gets into your workplace, lameness gets into your faith, lameness gets into your calling, lameness that you come to church and think, well, I do my duty and I come and I got to keep believing. Oh, I'm too afraid to backslide or stop doing this or to do that. And that lameness creeps into your soul and begins to poison your personality, and it poisons parts of your mind. You don't want that. I don't want to be lame. Nobody wants to be like that. But if it's been a long time, and I've prayed, Bishop, I've given with all my heart, and you have, but things haven't changed. And so what happens? It's so long without anything happening, then you've given up on miracles. You start to believe now that a miracle is not for you. Can I just offer a word of encouragement to some half dozen people here? You've tried miracles and it hasn't worked. Let me tell you this. Do not quit now on your miracle. I'm telling you, it's a fresh day. It's a new word to you. Oh, Bishop, I've prayed for this and I've prayed for this. You've prayed for that healing? I'm going to tell you right now, before you leave today, you believe God in a different way for that miracle. You understand what I'm saying? You've given up on your miracle. You've given up on something special could happen for you. Let me tell you right now, this is for you. There is a special thing for you. God has a special place. He's a special position that nobody else can take. I haven't been noticed. Yes, you have. You don't want to be noticed by me. You don't want to be noticed by whoever you're trying to impress or get their attention. All you need is for God to notice you. And if God notices you, that's all you need. That's the only person you need. Hey, listen. People will disappoint you. Anybody knows that? I do. People can let you down, and you can be walking together and somebody falls off and you got to keep going alone for a while. Somebody in your family even, family issues, not related to God or church, but just in family and between you two and between the children and you and between Bills and you. And that's not Bills that does the rapping from the church. You did a good job, I understand, Bills. Good on you. I'm talking about the other ones that come in a little wee glass. There's a letter hole. No, they don't come like that anymore, do they? They come now looking nice until you open it up. Rawr! I'm your power bill. It's a little wee Hittite. We call them Billites. Billites are the worst. They're worse than the Hittites, the Jebusites. It's the Billites. And you know what? People start to lose their focus and their bearing, and they become suddenly, it's now, they think that they need to have something around that particular problem. Okay, it's my work, so okay, the work's not happening for me, therefore God is not hearing me. And if God's not hearing me, that means it must be where I am, in Destiny Church. And if it's Destiny Church, it must be that bishop. Now, I'm very happy over there having communion with God, and you're getting off with your problem on me. So I've got to go and get a helmet because you're bashing my head. Clang, clang, clang. I've got a lot of helmets with dents in them. So what are you hitting me for? Because I don't know where else to blame or what else to hit because I'm frustrated. Well, okay, you can keep hitting me. Just let me change my helmet first. This one's getting flat. But as long as you come back to yourself and realize that blame shifting and pointing at other people and shifting it away from you is not going to be the answer. Today, God is speaking to you, saying you need to be filled with that stuff that you got right back where you were first saved.